to even locally, heads of MDAs, all in this hall, civil society, media, all present for this historic event this afternoon.
Indeed, just a bit of background. This is the first time Sierra Leone is hosting such a huge event after, 46 years, when it hosted the OAU summit. Now, a lot has changed, actually. For us, this is by far the most magnificent infrastructure Sierra Leone has built in decades. And as you've heard from Fabian, there are a lot of dignitaries. We're expecting a lot of presidents, actually. I cannot give you a definite figure, but it's around 9 to 10 presidents will be attending this particular session. All of them are expected, to make statements by tomorrow. As you've heard, today we are doing two things. One, the commissioning of this magnificent structure. And the second, of course, is the commissioning of the ECOWAS depot, which, invariably will boost trade across the sub-region.
It's a moment of pride for many Sierra Leoneans that Sierra Leone, through the leadership of President Julius Maada as chair of ECOWAS, was able to secure that opportunity to host the 69th ordinary session of the ECOWAS Heads of State and Government Summit. It is indeed a remarkable time. So this infrastructure that is about to be commissioned is also in line with the 69th session that is
currency for the block, which we've discussed for if you like years. Just January this year as well, ECOWAS had pushed so that we get a lot of the taxes in flight across our sub-region waived off. Not all countries have actually adhered to this, but all of these things would form part of the deliberations here in Lunge.
So in the venue now, in the building, somewhere around, we have the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow. There is the wife of the President, Her Excellency Dr. Fatima Maada, First Lady of Sierra Leone, and many other dignitaries, as we've seen. The Inspector General of Police is here as well. There are many ministers as well, heads of different ministries, departments, and agencies here present. We've also seen some members of the civil society space being present here for this very historic occasion. We would be talking to some dignitaries, and the heads of state would be arriving according to the agenda we have here somewhere around 12:55, and then by 1 p.m. this event is meant to kickstart for the official commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center here in Lunge, Sierra Leone.
Indeed, but just to give you a background of what ECOWAS is and its origination. So basically, this summit comes at a defining time for not only Sierra Leone but ECOWAS as a whole, as a body. The bloc was created in 1975, purely, of course, as you know, to promote trade, and economic integration across West Africa. Now, but today, the organization boasts actively of 12, members following the withdrawal of Burkina Faso. Who would opt out, Mali and Niger as well, in 2025 after prolonged tensions. Some of these you may have read online, but these things are happening. For Sierra Leone, actually, hosting this summit comes as a national pride, for a country. A lot of the times when you discuss Sierra Leone, you talk about the war, the brutal civil war, you talk about Ebola, you talk about cholera outbreak, you talk about elephantiasis, and mpox, which is perhaps by far maybe the most recent epidemic we've had in Sierra Leone. All of these things you'd see online, but today is a moment of pride, really. It cuts across all political divides, if you like, because for the first time we are hosting not one, not two, not three actually, but up to 9 to 10 presidents will be flocking here in Sierra Leone.
The the beauty of this is, so the different, we'll take a pause on that quickly. Meanwhile, we have with us now, we're going to be joined by the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Nabila Tunis. Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us here on
Always
AYB.
A pleasure to be with you.
So this is the biggest and most important convergence of the ECOWAS bloc for Sierra Leone, and it happens under a time when you are the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. From that perspective as a minister, what values do you think this brings or adds to Sierra Leone's tourism sector?
Again, you may know that we've been working really hard to promote the tourism sector over the past couple of months, and one thing which we've been really focusing on as well is having the right infrastructure to accommodate the influx of people and the interest that has been exhibited so far. And if you have been observing again for the past couple of months, there's been an increase in MICE tourism. So we've had more conferences here than before. And now with this edifice, it's a defining moment for tourism as well, because we'll be able to host more conferences, the level again at a higher level. And I just feel that the future is just bright for tourism and for Sierra Leone as a whole. So with this, it's what people refer to as a game changer. It's very critical for us as a sector, because this is what we needed ever since in terms of pushing, the tourism sector forward. So I'm happy as an individual. I do believe everyone else is happy, and all Sierra Leoneans should be proud of this moment today.
Speaking of all Sierra Leoneans, you just mentioned that this could be a facility to host a series of conferences. Not much, yes, it's still new, the commissioning and the building itself, the whole premise is new, but not much is known yet about the restriction, if there is going to be any, the kinds of events that can be hosted here. But beyond just formal events, corporate events, government events, there are entertainment events as well. And we've had people in the industry in Sierra Leone who have tried over the years to pitch some international entertainment events. For example, the BET, that there is a possibility some of those events could be held in Sierra Leone. What opportunities would this facility have for the creative industry?
Thank you very much. This is our year of culture and creativity, and we've been working really hard to market Sierra Leone beyond the appeal that we have. And where we're standing is a multi-purpose hall which can host concerts, as you've stated, several other types of events of international standard. So we're expecting that, and now that we have the infrastructure, we would certainly bid for these events. So I think it's a huge possibility that some of these events will be coming to Sierra Leone, because apart from the expertise that we do possess, we now have the infrastructure to match that. So watch this space. I do believe that you would also help to market this space. You'd also help to market Sierra Leone as the destination to go to. Explore freedom in Sierra Leone.
For the locals, the local talents, we have the local stars. We use the Shaka Stevens Stadium a lot for even entertainment events, music concerts, and a lot more. Should they be hopeful that this venue could also in future be used for some of those local events beyond just the international, whether it's government summits or entertainment events, but the locals, can they have access to these facilities for their events?
Why not? Why not? This is a covered event, as you may see, and it's going to be utilized all year. So again, that also increases its appeal, and it can be marketed as such. So definitely what we have been doing as a tourism industry is promoting the local talent. So definitely they would have access to perform here as and when it's needed. So that should not be a problem at all.
From the 68th summit that was held last year, part of a conversation in the resolutions was about a visa-free regional bloc. That has not fully materialized yet, though some countries have started implementing it. But if it gets to full fruition, the implementation of all the member states, what do you think this would do for tourism, not just in Sierra Leone, but in the continent? Well, the ECOWAS bloc.
We've been having those conversations in most of these events that we hold, the international events. In fact, we had that conversation just at the United Nations CAF that was held in Seychelles. And many countries are leaning towards having a borderless kind of system whereby people can travel freely within the African continent. Sierra Leone is also considering that. It's something that has to be done in collaboration with the Ministry of Internal Affairs, since they are responsible for that particular aspect. And conversations are ongoing. I do believe that we will get to that point. Within the ECOWAS, travel is largely unrestricted within the ECOWAS bloc itself. Travel is largely unrestricted, but going beyond ECOWAS, that's what we're thinking about. We have a few countries that you do have free access, free entry, but again, we'd like to expand that. So those conversations are on the floor, and I do believe with all the reforms that are being done and that are taking place within the country, looking at economic growth holistically and noting that tourism as well has the potential to create many jobs, I believe these would be considered if it is seen as one of those binding.
Do you know you can transfer money, buy airtime, and pay all your utility bills in just a minute? You can have access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Welcome to the world of fast and easy. GT World. With the GT World, you can transfer money from one GTCO account to another, pay utility bills, get account statements, get airtime, and check your balance.
Would get on to you in subsequent editions. We're still here at the Julius Maada International Conference Center. It's really looking beautiful here, isn't it?
Most definitely, Phoebe. It's such a
This internet is very slow, and the show has already started.
And my game keeps freezing. We need better internet and better security. God.
Introducing Michelle Group of Companies. From ultra-fast internet to round-the-clock protection, Mitchcom RSP Internet powers modern
Nigeria. And also another perhaps big, if you like, news that you've been hearing actually. We cannot confirm actually at the moment with all facts, but we're expecting the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in bracket Jagaban, to grace this occasion with him, the former president of Sierra Leone, Ernest Bai Koroma. But we haven't confirmed actually, but we'll keep our eyes glued to that particular detail in case it breaks eventually.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the ECOWAS summit, you have the generational gap as to the knowledge of ECOWAS and its impact in Sierra Leone and the continent. You would find the Gen Zs, many of them, who are lost between, more so because they did not, many of them, experience the rebel war in Sierra Leone. Though history is there to tell the story, but many of them did not experience it. But the generations that experienced the rebel war, the older and younger generations during that period, still have a memory of ECOWAS through the deployment of ECOMOG soldiers. Yeah. So it's quite interesting when you talk about hosting the ECOWAS Media Summit. You find the older people who experienced the rebel war, understanding, they would tell you the contribution of ECOWAS and the value of ECOWAS and Sierra Leone being a member of ECOWAS.
This internet is very slow, and the show has already started.
And my game keeps freezing.
The generational knowledge gap of what ECOWAS is, the values of ECOWAS, the benefits of ECOWAS. However, there are many things that the ECOWAS body itself have aligned with the African Union in terms of the agenda for development for Africa as a continent. But even at ECOWAS level, there are many things that have been on the agenda for quite a long time, and we haven't gotten to a point as a bloc where we can tick some of those items off the list to say accomplished. For example, the single currency, the ECO. ECO is a currency that has been proposed to be used in the bloc within ECOWAS. ECOWAS has been proposing for a while to go to a single currency, and the name of that currency, it would be ECO. But they've put this forward forward on the agenda, and we've still not gotten to that point. So last year in the 68th session, the Presidential Task Force to see this to fruition was sort of recommissioned, and they have till 2027 to attempt to do the official launch of it for 2027. But this was last year's summit, the 68th session. We're here at the 69th session. There are many questions to be asked. Since last year to now, the Presidential Task Force that has been put in place, what has been done? What's the progress? Is the 2027 time frame to officially launch still realistic for the ECOWAS bloc to launch into the ECO single currency?
Indeed. And this is not abstract, really. It's not new. It's something the continent has been discussing for a long time. The late Colonel Muammar Gaddafi was one who was very big in this single currency of Africa. He called it, the United States of Africa. It was such a huge idea, actually. And they're still discussing it. But if you're new, in case, you haven't read much about the ECOWAS, and what it stands for. So basically, from the top of my head, it's just to make trade more fluent, lucid, liquid, easy to do across Africa. Borders shouldn't be actual barriers to trade in Africa. And that's the premise reason why, this particular economic bloc was in the first place created, to facilitate trade, smooth movement of goods, for one country to another, among, African countries. And so, but still, as time progresses, questions that actually entails beyond the press releases.
This internet is very slow. And the short
things that perhaps one could ask, as to the relevance, the veracity of the existence itself of ECOWAS as a bloc in Africa.
Also moving away from the single currency and that vision, let's come to another important call that I noticed. Amina J. Mohammed, she's the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. So she has used this opportunity to urge ECOWAS to criminalize FGM in a hashtag that she uses, hands off our girls' genitals. Now, this call for ECOWAS to criminalize FGM comes at a very apt time when we have, especially in Sierra Leone, there has been a national debate sparked all over again from a controversial situation with the First Lady, who has been advocating for hands off our girl, to some of the activists now. They're going back and forth, pro-FGM activists and anti-FGM activists. And for many, those, the anti-FGM activists, for many of them, the issue is we do not have laws that specifically criminalize the practice of FGM against women and girls. The debate has really been resurrected with that situation of the First Lady attending the Sois and Sunday event there in Kenema. But now the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina J. Mohammed, is using the opportunity to call on ECOWAS as a bloc to criminalize FGM in a hashtag that says hands off our girls' genitals. This single move is actually helping to put more pressure on the government within ECOWAS to have that conversation, because it seems, according to anti-FGM activists, that the governments are shying away from that conversation, and that conversation needs to be had. What would be the fate of women and girls as it relates to FGM? The debate there is, how do you protect women and girls without also killing or eradicating culture and tradition? How do we merge culture and tradition as well as protecting women and girls within the continent?
Indeed. And as Fabian said, actually, it just drew my attention to something quite complicated because Sierra Leone has not complied, with the ECOWAS court landmark ruling in July 2025, on Sierra Leone's failure to criminalize the female genital mutilation, FGM, generally in Sierra Leone. But there are other transgressions, if you like, to point to. And the government as well has not honored the ECOWAS court's decision on former Vice President Julius sacking, despite, its campaign promise by Julius Maada. No, this government has also not respected most recent agreement with ECOWAS in January 2024 to quote-unquote discontinue all legal and administrative procedures against BOL, which happened quite recently. So if you observe, there are a lot of things that are quite peculiar to the bloc, but other things are emerging from underneath what you're seeing right now. So I'm saying, in essence, you should stay glued, because in most cases, beyond the flags that are waving, beyond the fanfare, beyond the music, the deliberations, the appearance, the aesthetics, the poses, the pictures, and the blares, there are ingrained issues, in the background that are eating up the fabric of these organizations across the so to discuss. I think in general, I feel that figures shed light on one of the mutilation is huge. As I'm speaking to you, up to now, Sierra Leone is still battling with the landmark, legislation in Parliament as to whether indeed to remove or criminalize, female genital mutilation. So there are a lot of moving parts, actually, if you ask. And if you're a very keen person who has eyes for details, then definitely this particular program, would be, quite interesting to you. But we are wrapping up now because the program is starting off, and surely, of course, Phoebe and I will be giving you from time to time, updates, and commentaries as we go along here from Lunge.
Sure. Also, we've had the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and his deputy, the Chief Minister as well, is around. The Chief Justice is around as well, and the Chief Minister, they're all around. And it seems the event would be starting in no time. Stay tuned to AYV Television and Radio as we're here in Lunge with the team to bring you the updates. This is the first part of it, the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center. From this commissioning, the second part of the event today would be the commissioning of ECOWAS Logistics Depot. Please stay tuned to AYV Television and Radio as we enjoy the program.
Guests joining us from across the region and beyond. Good afternoon and welcome. Kindly ask that everyone in the room kindly be seated. We're gathered here today to mark a historic moment, not only for Sierra Leone, but for the ECOWAS community. The official commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. The center is a celebration of exemplary leadership by His Excellency Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Maada and mark yet another significant milestone in Sierra Leone's infrastructure transformation agenda, which also reflects our country's growing leadership role within the ECOWAS region. While the logistics depot is a resounding reminder of what becomes possible when African nations choose collaboration over competition, partnership over isolation, and collective progress over individual success. Thus, here to tell that story, the Sierra Leonean and that of ECOWAS, myself, and my noted co-host, Mr. Joel Afo-Duji, will be our MCs for today to anchor you in English and in French.
Merci Grace, thank you. Merci. Excellences, mesdames et messieurs, distingués invités en vos rangs des qualités, au nom de la République de Sierra Leone et de la CEDEAO, nous voudrions vous souhaiter la bienvenue à Lungi, terre d'accueil, de rencontre et d'espérance dans le cadre de cette double cérémonie. Nous sommes donc réunis aujourd'hui pour un moment d'une grande symbolique et institutionnelle, l'inauguration conjointe du dépôt logistique de la CEDEAO et du Centre international des conférences Julius Maada de Lungi. Cette cérémonie, mesdames et messieurs, marque bien plus que l'ouverture de nouvelles infrastructures et consacre une ambition partagée, celle d'une Afrique de l'Ouest plus intégrée, mieux préparée, plus solidaire. Mais également un outil opérationnel essentiel de la CEDEAO. Je veux parler du dépôt logistique des interventions humanitaires, les besoins logistiques militaires et les réponses coordonnées de la CEDEAO face aux crises régionales. Ensuite, le liste des invités converge les voies d'action en Sierra Leone. La Sierra Leone, du moins, accueille la CEDEAO dans un esprit de fraternité, de dignité et de responsabilité. Que cette journée demeure en mémoire comme celle où l'infrastructure devient un instrument de coopération, où la vision devient réalité et enfin où l'engagement régional se traduit en actes concrets au service de nos peuples. Distingués invités, excellences, mesdames et messieurs, mesdames et messieurs les ministres de nos États, honorables invités d'honneur, mesdames et messieurs les chefs des institutions de la CEDEAO, de notre commissaire, nous voulions vous souhaiter la bienvenue et vous remercier d'avoir accepté de participer à cet événement très important pour nous. Il s'agit bien évidemment de l'inauguration du Centre international des conférences Julius Maada de Lungi et de l'inauguration du dépôt logistique humanitaire et militaire de la CEDEAO. Dans un instant, nous allons accueillir leurs excellences de chefs d'État C'est juste pour vous rassurer et planter les victoires que nous avons démarré cette cérémonie dans quelques minutes. Merci beaucoup.
Of Sierra Leone and chairman of the ECOWAS authorities of heads of state, His Excellency Brigadier retired Dr. Julius Maada BO. Then we will have official group photographs, after which we will have the second part of this event, which will be the commissioning of the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. The dignitaries will be notified to leave and go and move towards the space where the venue of that event. And the rest of us will be kindly asked to be at the auditorium. And then when they do go there, there will be a cutting of the ribbon by the heads of state and government. Then there will be an unveiling of the plaque by the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State, His Excellency Brigadier Retired Dr. Julius Maada. Then there will be a guided tour of the administrative building and an official group photograph, and another guided tour of the site too. And after which, we will have the heads of states and the dignitaries come back to join us in the banquet hall to have the official launch. I'll now have my co-hosts to say the same things in French.
Thank you very much, Grace. Ladies and gentlemen, following this speech made by Grace, kindly note in French. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, à la suite de l'intervention donc de Grace, je vous prie de noter que le programme de ce jour va se dérouler ainsi qu'il suit. Nous avons cette cérémonie qui se déroulera en deux parties. La première partie qui aura lieu dans cette salle même connaîtra dans un instant l'arrivée de leurs excellences les chefs d'État. Je vous prie de noter que nous aurons au moins 4 chefs d'État présents pour cette cérémonie conjointe inauguration du Centre international de conférence Julius Maada de Lunghi et du dépôt logistique de la CEDEAO à Lunghi. Juste après l'arrivée donc des chefs d'État, nous aurons, comme vous le savez, dans toute activité de la CEDEAO, nous aurons donc à exécuter l'hymne de la CEDEAO. Ce sera suivi d'une prestation culturelle, viendra par la suite le discours de bienvenue de son Excellence, Monsieur le vice-président de la République de Sierra Leone. Juste après le vice-président de la Sierra Leone, nous aurons l'honneur de suivre l'intervention de son Excellence, le président de la commission de la CEDEAO. Le président de la commission de la CEDEAO sera suivi par le président directeur général de l'entreprise qui a construit cette belle infrastructure qui nous abrite aujourd'hui. Ensuite, nous aurons le mot de fraternité d'un des chefs d'État présents, en l'occurrence son Excellence le président Adama Barrow de la République de la Gambie. Et viendra par la suite le discours officiel d'inauguration des lieux par son Excellence le président Julius Maada, qui est le président en exercice de la conférence des chefs d'État de la CEDEAO et également président de la République de Sierra Leone. Ce sera la première partie de cette cérémonie et la deuxième partie nous emmènera directement sur le site du dépôt logistique de Lunghi. Alors, sur le site, nous aurons la cérémonie de coupure de ruban par les invités de marque, leurs chefs d'État, les chefs d'État du moins. Ce sera suivi par la séance de dévoilement de la plaque du dépôt logistique de Lunghi. Et juste après cela, leurs excellences et les invités de marque feront un tour rapide des installations. Ensuite, les invités VIP sont invités à revenir ici même au palais, au Centre international de conférence du moins, pour le déjeuner organisé par son Excellence le président Maada en leur honneur. Les autres invités seront priés du moins de rester sur le site du dépôt pour être reçus pour leur déjeuner. Entre ces deux mouvements, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, je vous prie de noter également que nous aurons la photo officielle de famille qui se fera avec leurs excellences, les chefs d'État et les membres du High Table, les distingués invités qui seront installés donc sur ce podium. Voilà présenté le programme de cette cérémonie conjointe d'inauguration, d'abord du Centre international des conférences Julius Maada de Lunghi et du dépôt logistique humanitaire et militaire de la CEDEAO qui également est installé ici à Lunghi en République de Sierra Leone. Je vous remercie.
will now continue to wait, and as we do that, we will kindly ask our police band to give us some interludes in between that wait time.
Distingués invités, en attendant donc l'arrivée de leurs excellences, nous allons inviter la troupe officielle de la police à nous accompagner donc dans ce moment d'attente. Mais en attendant, je vous prie de noter que dans un instant, nous aurons ici même son Excellence, le président de la République de Sierra Leone et président de la conférence des chefs d'État, son Excellence Julius Maada. Nous aurons également son Excellence, le président Adama Barrow de la République de la Gambie. Nous aurons le président José Maria Neves, président de la République de Cabo Verde. Et enfin, nous aurons son Excellence Bassirou Diomaye Diakhar Faye, président de la République du Sénégal. Je vous remercie.
the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations.
La présence dans cette salle de son Excellence Dr Omar Ali Touré, président de la commission de la CEDE. Merci d'accueillir également M. Fatih Boa. Il est le président directeur général du groupe FB Group, l'entreprise qui a construit ces...
All right, welcome back to the Africa Young Voices Media Empire, and we're beaming live pictures to you from the Julius Maada International Conference Center here in Lungwe, just adjacent the newly built Lungwe International Airport in Sierra Leone. Two things are happening today here. We are commissioning officially the Julius Maada International Conference Center, in which we're currently standing, and after the ceremony we will proceed to the official opening of the ECOWAS logistic depot, which is just very close to this international conference center here. We've been made to realize that this particular depot will be used for two functions. One as a military strategic, infrastructure, and as well as humanitarian infrastructure. So that particular commissioning would happen immediately after the ceremony here. But I want to proceed to welcoming all of you. Of course, if you've been listening, we've been talking to you right here from Kafabulum in Lungwe, and in this hall there are several hosts, if you like, of dignitaries who've joined us from across Africa. So as you may expecting to be joined by at most 9 presidents who are coming from various countries, in the ECOWAS sub-region. Everything about the ECOWAS is trade and inter-border integration. Now, for those of you who were young in Sierra Leone, you may have heard tales of the rebel civil war, which we had here. A key military infrastructure was the ECOMOG soldiers, who actually joined forces with local armed men in Sierra Leone at the time, to fight the military junta, the rebels, who had invaded, and captured the capital city, Freetown. So, in essence, I'm telling you that by all measure, this particular program today talks about inter-border peace, security, trade, and economic integration. Several speakers were making statements here in the hall today, and if I should just, remind you or refresh your memories about the program again. So, the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Haji Ahmed Julius Jallo, Doctor, had just, joined us in the hall, and he's currently seated in front of the auditorium, and we're expecting...
We're now going to have our heads of state to join us.
And now the heads of state are now making their way into the hall.
Brigadier retired Dr. Julius Maada.
His Excellency Brigadier Julius Maada is now making his way into the hall.
And accompanied by his wife, Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Fatima Maada.
président de la République du Sénégal. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished in the spirit of our community, we have respectfully asked to remain standing for the ECOWAS anthem.
Today we are gathered here for the joint commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. This is not to simply inaugurate two buildings, but to celebrate a bold vision of regional integration, infrastructure development, and African leadership. The Julius Maada International Conference Center stands as a symbol of Sierra Leone's commitment to becoming a premier destination for diplomacy, international dialogue, investments, and regional cooperation. While the ECOWAS Logistics Depot will inspire greater collaboration and shared prosperity through the ECOWAS region.
Vos Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, Messieurs les chefs d'État, Excellences, Madame la Première Dame, distingués invités, bienvenue à cette cérémonie conjointe d'inauguration du dépôt logistique de la CEDEAO et du Centre international des conférences Julius Maada de Lomé. Avant les premières allocutions, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, nous allons laisser parler l'âme de la Sierra Leone culture est ce langage universel qui précède parfois les discours, rassemble les peuples et rappelle que l'intégration régionale se construit aussi par la beauté, la mémoire et la créativité de nos communautés. Excellences, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez recevoir the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe.
Now expecting performances from the National Dance Troupe to thrill the audiences here this afternoon. But I guess you're just joining us, you're still watching the live official commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center here in Lungay. And my name, talking to you this afternoon is Victor Jones. We've all been hearing from my colleague Fabian Swill, who was with me a while ago, and we're still here in the hall. And a host of dignitaries gathered here this afternoon to witness this program. After this particular ceremony, the delegation shall be heading over to the ECOWAS depot, which is just a stone throw from this particular edifice in which we're currently standing. Session. In Israel, he focuses more on restoring constitutional order, regional security integration, and of course promoting economic cooperation across West Africa. Performances being staged by the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe. And in front of you are distinguished personalities. Of course, there's President Brigadier Julius Maada, Dr. President of Sierra Leone, who also doubles as the chair of ECOWAS. We have Adama Barrow, the Gambian president. Basiru Faya, President of Senegal, also here with us this afternoon. And we also have on the stage the Honorable Mohamed Julius Maada, who is the Vice President of Sierra Leone. We also have Dr. Maada, the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone. And of course, Dr. Omar A. Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission. We also have Amina J. Mohamed, who is Deputy Secretary General of the Union National. Distinguished personalities are currently seated on the stage in front of the audience here at the Julius Maada International Conference Center here in London. Other things are happening, of course. Key among the deliberations for tomorrow, which will be the official summit itself. We're expecting issues like the single currency across Africa, which will perhaps by far boost and stabilize trade across the sub-region to be discussed. They're also expecting security issues to be discussed as well tomorrorow. And a litany of other, quite important, if you like, things that would form part of tomorrow's gathering. A bit of a background. Amina J. Mohamed is the fifth and current Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. She's taking office in February. She took office in February 2017. Alongside, of course, her deputy role, she serves as the chair of the United Nations Sustainable Development Group. Of course, with her work heavily focused on climate action and the 2030 agenda. So we're going to be bringing you, of course, a bit of background on all of the invited dignitaries or presidents, if you like, who are seated with us here this afternoon in Freetown, Sierra Leone. And if you're just joining us, you're heartily welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are hearing Victor Jones on the microphone this afternoon from Kafumulong in Lungay in Sierra Leone, where we are bringing you live coverage of the official commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center. To turn the spotlight on Omar Aliyu Toure. He was born, of course, on 5th September in the year 1965. He's a Gambian diplomat who has served as president of the Economic Community of West Africa States Commission since 2022. He's also Gambia's permanent representative to the United Nations from 2007 to the year 2008 and was Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs from March 2008 to September 2009. There's also the president of Cabo Verde, Jose Maria Vaz, who's also joined us. So in total this afternoon we have like 5 presidents who are joining us. Of course, I'll reiterate Adama Barrow is here, the Gambian president. Basiru Diomaye Faye, president of Senegal. We also have His Excellency Julius Maada, the President of Sierra Leone, who also doubles as the chair of ECOWAS. The Vice President, of course, who is the number 2 man in Sierra Leone. Dr. Mohamed Juldeh Jallow is also here. And of course, the wife of the President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Fatima Maada, who is the First Lady of Sierra Leone, is also here. Dr. Omar A. Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission, is also here. Also have, as I said earlier, President of Cape Verde, Jose Rivers, who is also joining us. We also have Amina J. Mohammed, who is Deputy Secretary General of the Union National. They're all here this afternoon. Now let me spotlight on President Adama Barrow. Adama Barrow is the President of the Republic of the Gambia, and in office came to office in January 2017. He's a former real estate businessman. He originally rose to power by defeating longtime ruler Yahya Jammeh. He was subsequently re-elected for a second term in December 2021. And we're made to believe that he's running again. He's running again in December this year. He's also here with us this afternoon. So all of these distinguished personalities are here gathered to witness the official opening, if you like, of the Julius Maada International Conference Center here in Lungay, and subsequently the ECOWAS Logistic Depot in Lungay. It's a packed house in this majestic architectural masterpiece. We have the police band in session. We are joined as well by members of the diplomatic and consular corps, ambassadors, we have ministers, deputy ministers, directors, and all officials of government of Sierra Leone are also here. And aside from the presidents who've joined us, their essential staff are also accompanying them, adding to the number of guests that we have currently in the hall here. So you've been watching a performance being staged by the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe. And they're currently performing. I believe they're retiring now. It's getting from the stage for the continuation of the ceremony here this afternoon. What a splendid performance by the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe. This forms part of the rich culture and tradition of Sierra Leone. Traditional dances and folk music being streamed through this program, forming part of this rich experience you're witnessing this afternoon.
Mesdames et messieurs, c'est pour souhaiter officiellement la bienvenue aux autres autorités et aux délégations et à l'ensemble des invités présents à Lungi. J'ai l'honneur de accepter à ce public son Excellence Dr. Mohamed Juldeh Jallow, vice-président de la République de Sierra Leone. Par sa voix, c'est celle du pays hôte qui exprime l'hospitalité sierra-léonaise.
Vice President Dr. Mohamed Juldeh Jallow is now being introduced to speak this afternoon here. and he's being welcomed by the police brass band.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chairman of the Authority of Heads of States and Government of ECOWAS, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Gambia, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, Cape Verde, Madam First Lady, Your Excellency, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellency, the President of the ECOWAS Commission, distinguished ministers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are very proud to witness this momentous occasion to attest to the legacy of His Excellency President Julius Maada and its powerful expression in a vision once considered too bold, too ambitious, and too improbable to become a reality. Yet today, on the historic grounds of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, that vision stands revealed not merely as a completed promise, but as a living symbol of reality. Yet today, a national renewal, historic grounds of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, that vision stands fulfilled not defined by courage, possibility, and the unwavering belief that even the most audacious dreams can take root on a Sierra Leonean soil. Against this inconspicuous background of Kapubulong chiefdom, the home of my ancestors, a shining beacon of a Sierra Leonean innovation, has taken root on this soil. The Julius Maada International Conference Center is a demonstration of a nation that clawed its way from global obscurity and despondency to representing the weighty voice of the African people in the United Nations Security Council, the African Union Peace and Security Council, and today holding the chairmanship of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. Distinguished delegates, our steadfast commitment to regional integration and African-led solution is more than a diplomacy. It is a reclamation of historical agency by championing Africa's demand for meaningful representation in the highest global decision-making bodies. President Julius Maada has given renewed force to a promise of our founding fathers carried across generations that Africa must not remain a subject of global decision, but an architect of those very decisions. In this moment, Sierra Leone is conjuring a new narrative, one of exceptionalism, despite unimaginable adversity. We are a small nation that was once ravaged by years of civil war, but today we are a mighty nation, a convener of regional and global dialogue that will not only shape the future of 8 million Sierra Leoneans, but 1.5 billion of Africans in a quest to fulfill the aspirations of our forefathers. Alongside the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, we will also have the privilege of witnessing the commissioning of the ECOWAS Logistics Depot, which holds great significance to our country. Sierra Leone was once the site of the largest ECOWAS contingency in the sub-region. Side by side, forces from Nigeria, Ghana, and other ECOWAS countries fought valiantly with Sierra Leoneans to restore peace, constitutional order, and national dignity. Today, on that same soil, His Excellency President Julius Maada will commission the ECOWAS Logistics Depot, not as a relic of conflict, but as an instrument of readiness, solidarity, and collective security. Once a nation rescued by regional resolve, Sierra Leone now stands as a trusted host for the architecture of regional peace, contributing not only to African stability, but to the wider cause of global peacekeeping and humanitarian service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our story is indeed exceptional, and this moment, witnessed by our brothers and sisters in the region, is a loud roar of the Lion Mountain, a great force to be reckoned with. Distinguished guests, the Julius Maada International Conference Center will be one of Sierra Leone's lasting and formidable footprint on the global scene, a legacy of the work of His Excellency President Julius Maada. Of exceptionalism demonstrated today by these two structures should remind us of the power of visionary leadership, but more importantly, the power of collective action propelled by a strong and cooperative regional bloc, shaping a prosperous economic future of the citizens of ECOWAS. Ours, therefore, is a story of the Sierra Leonean exceptionalism, not out of ease, but of enduring, not out of privilege, but of perseverance, not of isolation, but of the unbreakable conviction that Sierra Leone deserves more. And like Sierra Leone, our region must seek to reflect it, and ECOWAS that is united in purpose, courageous action, determined to transform our shared history into a shared future of peace, prosperity, dignity, and possibilities. With these words, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me, on behalf of His Excellency the President, the government, and the people of Sierra Leone, officially welcome you to the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Depot. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Powerful words echoed there by His Excellency the Vice President of Sierra Leone.
His Excellency and distinguished guests, I will now invite a visionary business leader whose organization has played an instrumental role in bringing this remarkable project to fruition, Mr. Fatih Bora.
Your Excellency, Mr. President Julius Maada, Your Excellency, Madam First Lady, Your Excellencies, Heads of States, Your Excellency Vice President, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor I'm standing before you today as we're opening the Julius Maada International Conference Center. Today we are opening a facility that was built in a record-breaking 4.5 months, thanks to the tireless efforts of 1,200 men and women working day and night to make this achievement possible. Today, we are opening a state-of-the-art facility that's able to host concerts, conventions, exhibitions, sports events, and many other activities. At the same time, perhaps, we are opening the most convenient conference center in the region. Perhaps, we are opening an airport city. Perhaps we are opening Sierra Leone to the world. But perhaps we are opening something more important. Perhaps we are opening our minds. Perhaps we are opening our minds in the same way President Maada has opened our minds with his vision and with his determination. Now we know nothing is impossible. I'd like to thank His Excellency President, the government members, and the people of the Sierra Leone for the trust, confidence, and the partnership. May God bless the country. May God bless ECOWAS. May God bless all of us. Thank you. And if you allow me, His Excellency, I'd like to present you the keys of the facility that will open the minds of people.
So the key to this magnificent facility has just been added to His Excellency President Julius Maada, more like a symbolic gesture marking his authority as the owner of this particular facility that has been commissioned here today. And of course, you may have heard a lot from previous speakers, but I want to hone in particularly on what the Vice President was talking about. He basically re-emphasized that the depot, which will be commissioned soon, will serve as an instrument of readiness, solidarity, and collective security, you know, to not only Sierra Leone, but other member states of ECOWAS.
Of inviting His Excellency Dr. Omar Ali Oture, President of the ECOWAS Commission, to deliver his
Your Excellency Dr. Julius Maada, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chairman of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency President of the Republic of the Gambia, President of the Republic of Senegal, Excellency the President of the Republic of Cape Verde, Madam First Lady of Sierra Leone, Your Excellency the Vice President of Sierra Leone, Your Excellencies, Cabinet Ministers and members of the Executive of the Council of ECOWAS, Your Excellency, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Vice President of the ECOWAS Commission and heads of ECOWAS institutions, members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, it seems President Bio has a special and a new vocation. It was only 2 weeks ago that he presided over the commissioning of the new ECOWAS Commission building in Abuja. Today again, in the company of his colleagues from the region, President Bio presides over the inauguration of this fantastic conference center and the ECOWAS logistic depot here in Lundi. This occasion is particularly significant as it takes place while we are gathered in Sierra Leone for the statutory meeting of ECOWAS. Excellencies, it was just 3 weeks ago that I visited this site in the company of the Chief Minister of Sierra Leone. I was hopeful, very hopeful, because I saw the quality of work. But let me admit something, I was also anxious. So today, the building site that gave me a lot of anxiety stands as the Julius Maada Conference Center, purposely built to host the media summit. The facility has been completed in a record time, further demonstrating that where there is will, there is always a way. Congratulations. Excellencies, the ECOWAS Logistics Depot provides us with a tangible reminder that regional integration is not only about the decisions we take in our meeting rooms, but also about translating those decisions into concrete institutions, infrastructure, and capabilities that serve our community and its people. On behalf of the ECOWAS Commission, I wish to express our profound gratitude to His Excellency President Julius Maada, the government and the people of Sierra Leone for their steadfast commitment and invaluable support towards the realization of this important regional project.
Decided to establish permanent logistics facilities to strengthen ECOWAS's capacity to support
peace operations and respond effectively to emergencies across our region. The subsequent acceptance of Sierra Leone's offer to host the Coastal Logistics Depot set in motion the process that has brought us to this important occasion today. The establishment of this facility was informed by the lessons of our region's experience in peace support operations, particularly the logistical challenges encountered in rapidly deploying and sustaining personnel and resources in the field. Today, therefore, we are commissioning much more than a physical facility. We are strengthening the capacity of our community to act swiftly, collectively, and effectively when circumstances demand. Over the years, the vision for this depot has evolved. While originally conceived primarily to support ECOWAS peace operations, it has developed into a strategic, multidimensional regional logistics hub with the potential to support humanitarian response, disaster relief, electoral assistance, disease control, training, and other regional interventions. The expanded role and visit for this facility reflects the increasingly complex and interconnected nature of the challenges facing our region. Conflict, humanitarian emergencies, natural disasters, and public health crises can quickly transcend national borders. Our regional response mechanisms must therefore be equally integrated, agile, and prepared. The strategic importance of this facility is even greater today, given the evolving security and humanitarian challenges confronting our region, and the need for ECOWAS to strengthen its preparedness and rapid response capacity. The choice of Sierra Leone to host this strategic facility is equally significant. With its important position on the Atlantic coast and its experience in supporting international and regional peacekeeping and logistics operations, Sierra Leone provides a strategic location from which this facility can serve the wider community. It is in this context that peace, security, and stability remain indispensable foundation for regional integration and sustainable development. We cannot realize our vision of an ECOWAS of the people without creating conditions in which our citizens can live in peace, move freely, conduct business, and pursue opportunities across our community. The commissioning of this depot therefore reflects our collective determination to strengthen the ECOWAS peace and security architecture, while enhancing our capacity to respond to humanitarian emergencies and other regional challenges. It also demonstrates what our community can achieve when member states work together and when regional decisions are matched by sustained commitment and implementation. As we celebrate this milestone, our attention must now turn to ensuring that the facility becomes fully operational and is sustainably managed and maintained. The true value of the investment will ultimately be measured by its readiness and its ability to serve our community effectively when called upon. I therefore call on all relevant ECOWAS institutions and member states to continue working together to ensure that the depot is adequately equipped, maintained, and fully integrated into our regional peace, security, and humanitarian response mechanisms. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here today, I wish once again to commend His Excellency President Julius Maada, the government and the people of Sierra Leone for their hospitality and continued partnership with ECOWAS, not only in bringing this important project to fruition, but also in graciously hosting us during these statutory meetings. I also recognize the contributions of the National Project Steering Committee, the ECOWAS technical teams, the contractor, Mrs. Sojifield, the project consultants, Bancatel, and all institutions and individuals whose dedication and perseverance have made today's commissioning possible. This facility stands as a testament to our collective resolve and to the spirit of community solidarity that lies at the heart of ECOWAS. As we commission the ECOWAS Logistics Depot, let us also renew our collective commitment to ensuring that ECOWAS has the institutions, infrastructure, and capabilities required to respond to the challenges of our time and to protect the peace, security, and the well-being of our people. I thank you for your attention.
Merci, Excellence Dr. Omar Touré, Président de la Commission de la...
It was a lavish compliments being showered on His Excellency Brigadier Julius Maada at the timely completion of this masterpiece edifice. The speaker also noted that the depot was originally for ECOWAS, peace support operations, logistics, sustainable personnel. And now it is being expanded into a multi-dimensional hub for humanitarian response, disaster relief, medical assistance, and of course disease control training here in Sierra Leone. That will benefit not only this country, but other countries across Africa.
therefore to most cordially congratulate Your Excellency, Dr. Julius Maada, and the people of Sierra Leone at large on this landmark achievement. With great honor, I say this on behalf of the entire government and the people of the Republic of the Gambia. Distance and national duty do not frequently permit our physical presence when such occasions do not take place in sister states, which make this event a rare opportunity for me to be here with you. As such, while eagerly looking forward to the forthcoming regional community engagement with other colleagues, heads of state, it is my pleasure to share these words of solidarity and goodwill with you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this conference center stands as a fitting monument to Sierra Leone's vision, ambition, and confidence in its future. One can safely and boldly conclude that it is a testament to the visionary leadership and statements of President Bill. No wonder the center proudly bears his name. This edifice vividly imposes itself to symbolize what is attainable when leaders delegate their lives to their nations and toil not only for the present, but also for the coming generations that inherit the legacies and institutions left behind by them. For the Gambian, the occasion carries a unique significance. Sierra Leone and the Gambia are bound not merely by geography and membership of ECOWAS, but equally by a shared history that is remarkably marked by resilience, resourcefulness, and an unwavering commitment to democracy, peace, and regional integration. Our two governments and people have stood together in both good and equalize. as we usually continue tackling the region's challenges head-on. Infrastructural development of this magnitude must remind us of what is possible when the nation invests boldly in expanding its capacity to organize people, host events of national and international prominence, and lead when called upon to do so. Within the spirit of the broader ECOWAS framework and the fraternal bonds between our two sister states, the Gambia takes pride in this accomplishment. This spirit is one of king's friendship and coordination, which makes it obligated. May its center serve for ages as a beacon of unity, the catalyst for investment and development, and the home for great minds to save the destiny of our sovereignty. Once more, I congratulate you all, and I wish the Republic of Sierra Leone continued progress, peace, and prosperity. God bless our country, and God bless the African continent. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your gracious goodwill message and for your unwavering commitment to regional unity and cooperation. Our culture remains one of our greatest strengths, a powerful expression of who we are as a people and the values we proudly share with the world. Their Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, prepare to experience once again the vibrant rhythm, colors, and rich cultural heritage of Sierra Leone. For the second time, please join me in welcoming another section of our Sierra Leone dance troupe.
So of course you're still viewing live pictures from us here at Lungay, and still standing in the middle of this gigantic architectural masterpiece which has just been built in honor of the ECOWAS chair, who doubles as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, retired Brigadier Julius Dr. Maada Bio. You're going to be seeing in a short while the Sierra Leone dance troupe performing for you again for the second time this afternoon, thrilling you with masterpiece dance moves as they did before now. Joining the ceremony, of course, are several dignitaries who've come from faraway lands, some from regional countries, others beyond the borders of Africa, that have joined us here this afternoon for this all-important program. But don't forget that this is not the end of the program. Actually, after this, we shall be heading over to the ECOWAS depot that will also be commissioned this afternoon. a few minutes ago, you were hearing from the Gambian President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, who has also shared goodwill messages to the President and people of Sierra Leone, and has commended the chair of ECOWAS for putting up this majestic edifice for not only in honor of the people of Sierra Leone, but the regional bloc ECOWAS. In his words, Julius Maada International Conference serves a monument of Sierra Leone's vision. Concentrates on trade, commerce, and business. The summit comes as regional tensions intensifying in some countries. So the bloc was created in 1975, just to give you a background as to what ECOWAS truly is. To promote economic integration among West Africa countries. And today the organization can boast of a total of 12 active members, forming an alliance. That is after, of course, the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, and of course Niger in 2025. As a result of brewing sanctions and military law. Well, there are several issues that, of course, I'm sure will form part of this particular program. Key among them, as you've heard analysis earlier, is, of course, the issue about the single currency in the bloc. A single currency to be used by ECOWAS to facilitate trade and expand the business beyond the borders of each of these countries, who had actually subscribed to the mentality of this regional business acumen, if you like. And there are also other issues like the female genital mutilation, which is quite key in Africa today, not only to Sierra Leone. So we're seeing more dignitaries pouring in this afternoon, even as the Sierra Leone dance troupe continues to thrill you this afternoon. Behind the ceremonial flags and the conference halls, there are questions that are brewing. So ECOWAS was actually designed to make borders less of a barrier, of course, allowing people, goods and services to move freely across all of these borders. But yet, traders and even citizens still face delays today, costly procedures and restrictions that continue to slow down the dream, of a truly integrated regional market. The bloc is also wrestling, of course, with political uncertainty. We've seen a wave of military takeovers in parts of West Africa, of course, that is actually challenged ECOWAS's ability to defend constitutional order. And of course, it all comes at a time when debates continue over whether the economic cooperation can survive these political divisions that we're seeing today. So there are a lot of fragmented parts to this, actually, because if you go deeper, you'd see the underlying issues. And it is believed that some of these topics will be discussed tomorrow when the bloc shall be meeting here again at the Julius Maada International Conference Center for the second time. Major challenges that continues to confront ECOWAS is countries that of course have stepped away from the bloc. Of course there is Mauritania, which left ECOWAS in 2000. Of course to date remains connected through regional partnerships and has been invited to this particular summit. So of course there is questions about whether close cooperation could rebuild that broken bridge. A short while ago, President Bio had received, of course, the symbolic key to the Julius Maada Bio Conference Center. Handing over was made by Faith Bora, who is the President and CEO of FB Group, the Turkish international investment and construction company that actually put up this magnificent edifice. Of course, they specialize in major infrastructure projects, including airports, hotels, and government facilities across Africa and Eastern Europe, as I'm sure you've been following. If you're just joining us, you're heartily welcome to this live coverage that is coming away all the way from Kafabulum, Chiefdom in Lungay. And behind the microphone this afternoon is yours truly, Victor Jones. And I'm joined here by other colleagues. Though you're not hearing them, they are in the back seat coordinating interviews and putting together other essential parts of this all-important coverage. Of course, Fabian Swill was also here a while ago. We also have Mohamed Bakar Kamara, 44 minutes behind, of course, the camera here. There's Aki Koka, Chedo Darami, and of course the managing director of the Africa Young Voices, Omar Ufufana, who is also with us here this afternoon. We're joined by other press from other countries. There is Al Jazeera here. Another prominent press, a scrum of press if you like, is here this afternoon. Since of course ECOWAS is all built around business and commerce, AYV's business reporter Marama Tomi is also here with us, and of course has been following keenly the proceedings here this afternoon. Subsequently, she shall be putting together bits and pieces of essentials for you that surround business from this particular proceeding. It's a two-day event which has begun today. Today is the beginning. It shall be continuing into tomorrow, marking the second day of the event. Tomorrow perhaps is by far the most important deliberation, which would feature other presidents from different countries making submissions to the ECOWAS House. All will be happening here in the Julius Maada International Conference Center. And that climaxes the performance of the Sierra Leone National Dance Troupe, making their second appearance here this afternoon. I want to thank you so very much indeed for joining us here on the Africa Young Voices television.
Development. Today, we commission a landmark institution that will serve not only Sierra Leone but the entire ECOWAS region for decades to come. It is my singular honor and privilege to invite the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and the Chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of the Heads of State.
Thank you very much. Let's sit down, please. Ibi. Let me say, you know, you have to notice so. For us, the impossible is always possible. Congratulations, Sierra Leone. Not the president. Congratulations, Sierra Leone. Your Excellencies, my dear brothers and sisters, heads of state and government, the Honorable Vice President, His Excellency, the President of ECOWAS Commission, Madam First Lady, Honorable Ministers of Government, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, commissioners of the ECOWAS Commission, heads of ECOWAS institutions and agencies, ECOWAS ambassadors, chiefs of defense staff and heads of security services that are here today, our development partners, traditional leaders, and the people of Lungi. Putloko, Nadi, Mamono, I don't come back for take me, please. Naya will first. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Today, I have a different face, one that smiles. My dear brothers, they say they don't know me for smiling. Today, I wear a very beautiful smile on my face. Nations are remembered not only for the challenges they overcome, but also for the institutions that they leave behind. Today, Sierra Leone and ECOWAS add two more institutions to that enduring legacy. On the eve of the 69th ordinary session of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, we are gathered in Longye to commission two landmark investments. One is an investment by the Republic of Sierra Leone, the government, and that is done as part of our national future. The other is an investment by the economic community of West African states in our collective regional future. Different ownerships, different purpose, yet united by one vision: a stronger Sierra Leone, serving a stronger West Africa. Therefore, it is a profound honor and privilege for me, on behalf of the people of the Republic of Sierra Leone, to welcome you to this official commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Logistics. Together, these two landmark facilities reflect our shared conviction that the future is built not only by aspiration, but by our shared conviction that the future is built by action. One that leads to institutions that create opportunity, strengthen cooperation, and serve generations yet to come. It is fitting that we gather here in Longye, Sierra Leone's principal international gateway. As you all know, for generations, Longye has welcomed the world to our shores. Today, it welcomes a new chapter in our nation's journey. From this gateway, Sierra Leone will increasingly connect West Africa to the world, and the world to West Africa, because these two facilities will help make that vision a reality. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first to reflect on the significance of the Julius Maada International Conference Center. This magnificent facility is a strategic national investment that reflects Sierra Leone's ambition, confidence, and growing role within our region. For many years, Sierra Leone was known principally for its recovery. Today, we are increasingly recognized for our contribution to regional leadership, democratic governance, peace building, and economic opportunity. This conference center is another important step in that journey. It demonstrates our determination to position Sierra Leone preferred destination for regional and international conferences, diplomacy, investment forums, exhibitions, and strategic dialogue. Within these hallowed walls, heads of state and government, we deliberate on issues that affect the lives of millions of our citizens in this community. Ministers, we talk about development and cooperation, negotiate agreements that we deepen our cooperation. Investors, we explore new opportunities. Scholars, innovators, entrepreneurs, we exchange ideas that shape the future of our continent. This international conference center is also a platform for diplomacy, partnership, investment, and opportunities. The benefit of this investment, we extend well beyond the walls that we see. Every international conference hosted here will generate business for our hotels, restaurants, transport operators, tourism, enterprises, and small businesses. It will create employment, stimulate local enterprise, and contribute to the continued growth of our economy. For the people of Longé and the surrounding communities, it represents new opportunities for jobs, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. Your hospitality, enterprise, and commitment will help ensure that every visitor leaves Sierra Leone with an even greater appreciation of our country and our people. Those beautiful smiles that you wear, which I hope you will wear every day. For those of you who work at the airport, don't imitate me. I hardly smile, except for today. This investment also sends a powerful message to the international community. And what is the message? It says that Sierra Leone is open for business. It also says that Sierra Leone is ready to host the world. For so long, many have given the excuse of going across the estuary as a very lazy reason for not coming to Freetown. Now we have brought Freetown at the airport. You have to go. And what does that message say? It says that we are investing with confidence in our own future. The true value of this conference center is not the architecture alone. It is the service it is going to render to the people. And the lasting legacy of this facility will therefore not be measured by its architecture, but by the partnerships it fosters, the investment it attracts, the opportunities it creates, and the contribution it makes to prosperity of Sierra Leone and West Africa. This is the purpose for which this structure has been built. That is the legacy we seek to leave. And that is why today is a day of immense pride for the government and the people of this country. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, if the Julius Maada International Conference Center represents Sierra Leone's investment in dialogue, diplomacy, and economic opportunity, then the ECOWAS Logistics Depot represents the community's investment in preparedness, resilience, and collective security. The decision by ECOWAS to establish this strategic regional asset here in Longé is a powerful expression of the confidence it has in Sierra Leone's stability, strategic location, and unwavering commitment to regional cooperation. We receive that confidence with gratitude. We also accept this with the responsibility and courage. We will be a good host. This depot has been established to strengthen ECOWAS's operational readiness and its ability to support peace operations, humanitarian assistance, and emergency response whenever our region is called upon to act. It comprises two complementary facilities. The first is the administrative and maintenance facility, which we serve as an operational hub for planning, logistics, equipment maintenance, and mission support. As we all know, behind every successful regional operation lies careful planning, efficient coordination, and reliable logistics. These facilities provide that essential foundation. The second comprises the training facilities, consisting of a modern training and residential accommodation. Here, military, police, civilian, and humanitarian personnel from across West Africa will train together, exchange expertise, strengthen partnership, and professional capabilities that enable ECOWAS to respond effectively to evolving challenges facing our region. Together, these facilities significantly enhance the operational capability of ECOWAS and reinforce our shared commitment to peace, stability, and regional solidarity. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these two landmark investments tell only one compelling story. One creates a place where leaders come together to deliberate, negotiate, and shape the future of our region. The other ensures that our community possesses the capacity to translate those decisions into effective action. One strengthens dialogue, the other strengthens readiness. Together, they transform vision into action. They also remind us of a fundamental truth. Peace and development are inseparable. Without peace, investment falters. Without security, prosperity cannot flourish. And without strong institutions, integration cannot succeed. And we need to be integrated in this region. These facilities therefore represent far more than just concrete, steel, and glass. They represent confidence over uncertainty, partnership over isolation, preparation over complacency, and progress over stagnation. Together, they strengthen Sierra Leone's standing as a trusted partner within ECOWAS and reaffirm our country's growing contribution to regional peace, diplomacy, and economic cooperation. They also demonstrate what is possible when governments, regional institutions, development partners, and the private sector work together in pursuit of a common purpose. That partnership is worthy of celebration. Tomorrow, we shall assemble here as heads of state and government to deliberate the future of our community. Today, we commission institutions that we help shape that future. May they serve as enduring reminders that lasting progress is built not only through bold ideas, but also through the institutions that enable those ideas to become reality. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to every one of you. I will not attempt to name for your vision, for your dedication, and hard work that has gone into making this day possible. But I commend the government, the Republic of Sierra Leone, our private sector partners for their commitment to delivering the Julius Maada International Conference as a national investment in our country's future in a record time frame. Thank you. I express my sincere appreciation to ECOWAS Commission for its continued confidence in Sierra Leone, reflected in its investment in the ECOWAS logistics depot. I also commend the contractors, engineers, architects, consultants, technical teams, and all those whose professionalism and expertise have transformed these ambitious projects into lasting national and regional assets. Your work will continue to serve Sierra Leone, ECOWAS, and the people of West Africa for many years to come. Your Excellencies, my dear brothers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore with immense pride that Sierra Leone has achieved what it has achieved. And with abiding confidence in the future of our community, it is now my singular honor and privilege in my capacity as President of the Republic of Sierra Leone and Chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government to officially commission and declare open the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Logistics Depot located the Julius Maada International Conference Center becomes a place where dialogue advances understanding, partnership, generate opportunity, and investment and that will contribute to the prosperity of Sierra Leone and our beautiful region. The ECOWAS Logistics Depot strengthen our collective capacity to preserve peace, respond swiftly to crises, and safeguard the security and well-being of the great people of West Africa. Progress and regional integration. Today we have opened two remarkable facilities and also opened new opportunities for Sierra Leone. We have strengthened the ECOWAS's capacity. We have affirmed our shared belief that when we build together, we will rise together. West Africa will rise. Today we dedicate these institutions to
tomorrow we shall dedicate ourselves to the decisions that will shape the future of our community. ECOWAS. May God bless the Republic. Say amen. God bless the economic community of West African states. May God continue to bless West Africa, the region that we love. Thank you.
So it concludes, of course, the statement by the chair of ECOWAS, who also doubles as the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada. And we've actually captured, most of the highlights of his speech. Of course, key among them, he says that the new ECOWAS logistic depot in Lunge is a strategic investment in regional peace and security, with an administrative hub and a modern training facility. He says ECOWAS now has the capacity to plan, coordinate and respond faster to crisis while building professional expertise across military, police, civilian and humanitarian personnel in the region. He said it's a powerful expression of the commitment to regional cooperation. ECOWAS is providing stability and security through concrete institutions, not just statements. On rapid response capacity, the President and Chair said that the depot is established to national capacity and its ability to support peace missions, humanitarian assistance, whenever the region is called to act. On command and coordinated hub, the administrative facility serves as a command hall for planning, logistic equipment and mission support. Efficient coordination is the backbone of every successful We shall of course be coming back to you, and we're heading now to the depot for its commissioning.
A presidential bus plus 3 One bus has been designated for the heads of state, the First Lady and the UN Deputy Secretary General. Another bus has been designated for the Honorable Vice President, ECOWAS Commission President, ECOWAS
young people are always very daring. They are smart, they can take risk, but because we are also educating them, they can take calculated risk. And you need a lot of these people to be able to move the economy. So I was speaking on behalf of them, encouraging them not to despair, but also saying that we as government should actually open the access to finance and other things for them to be able to embark on entrepreneurship.
And I want to see, I'm not worried about the negativity because people are going to say what they want to say, but just watch my actions, you know what I mean? See, when I'm talking about Sierra Leone, what am I saying about Sierra Leone?
Show that AYV has grown more than it was the last time. I want to tell you something as AYV and also to our viewers. Any work that you do, if you work very hard and you are dedicated sincerely for the cause of the Almighty, Allah will give you growth.
Guys, my name is DJ Neptune, aka Greatness. Listen up to my people out in Sierra Leone. Today, 5 p.m., I'll be live and direct on The Hype Show with Michelle on AYV Radio, and we're going to be premiering my new single, Gaza.
Yeah, like as I mentioned, my parents, they live here. So basically, for them, I want to see them because I didn't see them for a long time. And obviously to meet them here in Salon is for me, it's even better because in England it's cold.
At the end of the polls today, if we don't have major issues, then we will all thank God. You know, I'm the West African Elders Forum, and one stable West Africa.
Yeah, it's my first time here, so I'm just really excited to be around and just like spread the love and spread the music and work. Yeah.
When big names talk, they talk to the AYV.
From dawn to dusk, and from dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days all year round. This dedicated team is here working industriously to bring you
the facts,
the analysis,
The interviews,
the news,
the views from the ordinary people. We set the agenda.
We bring you seamless broadcast.
we cover the happenings.
We give you the angles on the screen.
We cover the events.
We tell the story. We produce the shows.
We commission and ensure the stories are delivered.
We bring you all actions and excitement in sports.
We get our inspiration from you because you have chosen us as the nation's most trusted voice. AYV, the home of all things credible, factual, and of course, all times balanced news. AYV on Sunday.
Hello and welcome. Please allow us to take you on an everlasting journey of hard-hitting journalism. No spin, no filter, just the truth.
On AYV on Sunday, we ask the questions that many are afraid to ask, and to test the level of sincerity and integrity of the people who have the power to shape our world.
From the bureaucratically minded corridors of power and the seat of the president,
to the deafening voices of the people that actually matter.
what you should know is that ours are not just mere conversations.
They are accountability personified, live, unfiltered, and in your face.
A live audience of 10 persons will also be included in each edition of the program on first come, first included basis.
Hello and welcome. I am Phoebian Sweel.
And I am Victor Jones.
And this is AYV on Sunday. Just because the day has ended doesn't mean news has stopped. Bringing you stories that matters to you.
Right, indeed, we're back and you're hunting welcome again. this live session. You're hearing us from the newly constructed depot here in Lungay. I'm here, of course, with my colleague Fabian Swill. I've been running these live commentaries since morning.
So this is the part 2 of today's special commissioning sessions. We're done with the commissioning of Julius Maada International Conference Center, and here we are now at the second location, which is the ECOWAS Logistics Depot, and the President is about to commission this depot. So both facilities are not at the same location. The Julius Maada International Conference Center is just close to the new airport. But here, the ECOWAS Logistics Depot is also not far from the old airport. So there's quite a distance between the Julius Maada International Conference Center and the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. At any moment from now, we're expecting President Bio to be here and the rest of the team for the commissioning of this depot.
Indeed, of course, and this is just the second part, as you've heard from Fabian, of the ceremony for today. The actual deliberations are in tomorrow, and we need to believe that they are all to grace this all-important ECOWAS summit. For those of you who have been following since morning, a lot has happened actually. The Julius Maada International Conference Center has just been commissioned. It's now the key to the facility has been handed over to the chairman, as the president of Sierra Leone, and beside him on stage, his wife, the first lady, Dr. Fatima Maada Bio, the president of the Gambia, the deputy chair of the United Nations, other key dignitaries who have actually graced this very important program. In many regards, the president echoed that these particular facilities have so much benefit that one could possibly count for now. They not only assist Sierra Leone to boost economic and trade, but also the regional bloc, ECOWAS itself, which is the very core foundation why ECOWAS was founded.
So this session here is meant to be a short one. According to the agenda, it's going to be the cutting of the ribbon, which will be done by the president and other heads of state. Then we'll move to the unveiling of the plaque by the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, who doubles as the chairman of the ECOWAS authority. And there will be a guided tour of the administrative building. After that would be just photo sessions, group photo sessions, and then guided tour of the site. It's going to be a short one, but it's a very symbolic and historic day here in Lungay, Sierra Leone.
Indeed. It's a historic day for Sierra Leone, and not only about Sierra Leone, but about trade and regional integration. And of course, as you know, the economic community of West Africa, state is actually founded on principles of business, to boost commerce, which is why we're all gathered here. There's a scrum of, reporters that have joined us here as well, for this all-important program today. And, quite a lot has happened. For those of you who've been following the activities of ECOWAS, there are a lot of issues from, female genital mutilation, which are the top of the agenda. I would believe that all of these issues will be discussed tomorrow in the plenary. Regional security threats, coups that have actually spiraled in the last few years across the bloc. All of these things will be discussed tomorrow. I'm sure discussions will go around the trade, but also importantly, governance and politics, and how to consolidate, power in emerging democracies, which does not exclude Sierra Leone as one of these strong members. And so, thank you so very much indeed for joining us today. It's such a green environment, as you can see. The background there. There is the ECOWAS flag display transparency flapping in the wind, and dignitaries are arriving, slowly. But in a while, all of them will be gathered here, of course, to witness. I've just spotted on the bus that is coming with a group of entourage. They'll be witnessing this particular event.
It's the rainy season in Sierra Leone, but today the weather has been very favorable for an outdoor event like this one. I'm sure it may have been a concern to the team putting this together. What if it rains? Well, it has been a very favorable weather here today in Lunge. It started off raining this morning in Freetown, but then much later on it ceased, and it's really been a good weather today. Even the weather is favoring the commissioning of these two facilities here today in Lunge. It brings us to decentralization of we commissioned the Julius Maada International Conference Center. Freetown does have the Bintubani Conference Center, which can host many kinds of events. In the spirit of decentralization, Lunge now has a similar facility for hosting of many of these kinds of events. Earlier on, we had a conversation with the Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs talking about the potential benefits of this to the tourism sector, hosting conferences, and even the entertainment industry, the creative sector, opportunities of hosting other major events. And Victor, over the years recently, Sierra Leone has been hosting some of the pageants, the global pageants. It's also a very beautiful opportunity for... Okay, we are about to get started. So as you can see from the back now, the bus containing members of the Fourth Estate just arrived. And the team is here. We're now waiting on President Bio and the other heads of state dignitaries to be here for the commissioning of the ECOWAS Logistics Depot.
Indeed. Just to bring, of course, highlights that previous speakers have actually echoed here this afternoon. So the Gambian President, Mr. Barrow, of course, while delivering his speech, actually talked about fitting monument to Sierra Leone's vision, ambition and confidence in its future. And he also said this particular project is a testament to President Bio's statesmanship. The second thing he talked about is building for generations to come. He spoke about leaders must toil, not only for the present, but also for coming generations that will inherit the legacies and institutions left behind. And he also talked about unbreakable bilateral bond across the region, and stating that Sierra Leone and Gambia are bound not merely by geography and membership of ECOWAS, but equally by shared history marked by resilience, and unwavering commitments to democracy, peace, and regional integration.
And it was also mentioned during the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, the President of ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Dr. Omar Aliyu Toure, mentioned that this logistics depot has actually there has been some changes from what it initially was meant to be. Now it's beyond just the logistics, it's also bringing about humanitarian support. So this depot is going to serve as the base where, peradventure, there is an emergency anywhere in the ECOWAS bloc. This is the depot where deployment will be made, whether it's for the forces, whether it's humanitarian aid in times of disasters or any emergency in the ECOWAS bloc. So the ECOWAS Logistics Depot has actually metamorphosed from just the idea that it had in the inception to now going beyond just the logistics, but also humanitarian component added to that. But this takes us, Victor, to that part where, the conversation Pan-Africanists have been having, Africa becoming self-sufficient. Obviously, ECOWAS is part of Africa. It's ECOWAS now looking after itself. But what does this, the ECOWAS Logistics Depot itself mean now in reality, in practical terms, for member states, peradventure there's a medical emergency, and we've also seen military coup d'etats become more prominent, for lack of a better way to put it, in recent times. Yes, there have been military coups before, but in recent times we've had the highest number of military interventions in the continent. So what does the ECOWAS Logistics Depot have to offer for member states in ECOWAS? Peradventure there's a medical emergency, peradventure there is a military coup. It's just quite a lot. So today is the commissioning of the depot, but after today would be follow-ups of how the ECOWAS Logistics Depot does benefit member states within the ECOWAS.
Just to echo the words of His Excellency the President, Julius Maada, the depot shifts ECOWAS from reacting to crisis to being ready for crisis. And I think that's a crucial component of this whole, ceremony that we're having here today. I mean, not often Africa gets inflicted with diseases, from the West, if you like. And in most cases, the response to some of these crises is slow, ruggedly, for lack of a better word. So this particular facility also helps, in a way to accelerate being proactive rather than reactive to issues when they occur, not only in Sierra Leone but in Africa, regional bloc, ECOWAS, of course.
And it's quite a moment of pride again for Sierra Leone that Sierra Leone, as a member state, is host to the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. So the chairmanship is rotational, but even when it rotates, when it moves away from Sierra Leone, the ECOWAS Logistics Depot would still remain in Sierra Leone. So it is indeed a moment of pride for Sierra Leone as a nation.
Also a strategic advantage, if you consider it, of course. As I said earlier, a lot of the time Sierra Leone is quoted for bad things. Probably the Civil War we've had, to the Ebola crisis that ravaged the lives of millions, to the mortal men last night, which killed our compatriots in Sierra Leone, to Mpox, these kinds of business. How did you hear prominent stories like these ones, about Sierra Leone? And today we are celebrating, not only hosting, but celebrating in pride, basking in affluence in the region, or being perhaps the first to have such a facility. Such a commendable move, if you like.
Stay tuned to AYV radio and television, so we would continue to bring you live coverage of this second part of today's commissioning. We're done with the first part, the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, and this is the second part, the commissioning of the ECOWAS Logistics Depot here in Lungi, Sierra Leone.
His Excellency Julius Maada, the host president who've joined him to commission, of course, this ECOWAS logistic depot here in Lungi, just close to the old, airport infrastructure, that was shown while functional. Now with the inauguration of this new, SUMA built Lungi International Airport, it has gone dysfunctional. But all these facilities are linked together, they're all quite close to each other, making the movement from one to the other quite smooth, easy and fast. As you can see from the pictures here, there are key dignitaries that have come from other countries around Africa and even the ECOWAS sub-region to witness this particular program. some of these guests were just from the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, and they're now coming towards the ECOWAS logistic depot. Okay, which I just turned through actually from the airport. I'm still awaiting the arrival of the chair of ECOWAS, who also doubles as the president of Sierra Leone, to lead this particular second part of the ceremony here today. It's a time of pride and dignity for Sierra Leone, but not only for Sierra Leone, but for the ECOWAS sub-region that has been challenged quite recently. A slew of issues regarding security, coups, and the likes. Arriving now is the Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Jordan Jallo. The Chief Minister, David Moyla Senga, could also be spotted, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Haji Musa Timothy Kaba, can also be spotted among the lists of guests that are arriving through the red carpets here, at the ECOWAS logistic depot. There's also the Minister of Education, Laziz. It's been quite a busy time since morning, from the pre to post activities there at the International Conference Center. We will now come to the ECOWAS depot. There's also the country's Minister of Information and Civic Education, Chegno Ba, has also come, waiting on the arrival of His Excellency, the President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Maada. It's quite a colourful event here, and a list of dignitaries here as well, their entourage from different countries across the ECOWAS sub-region.
Outside of the compound, along the streets, a group of people with drums and masquerade celebrating the day itself and the special occasion. The dignitaries are still arriving as we await President Julius Maada and the other heads of state and dignitaries for the commissioning of the ECOWAS logistics depot. This is the last beat for today's commissioning.
So you are heartily welcome if you're just joining us this afternoon. We are giving you live pictures from Kafabulum Chiefdom in Lunge, where two important ceremonies are being held today. The commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, which has already been done. Now to the official opening, if you like, of the ECOWAS Logistic Depot. Both facilities are quite close, as you would expect. A lot of dignitaries have been invited to witness these events. They are still trickling into the facility where the depot is built, and I'm still waiting on the president's arrival. I think we can hear the president's motorcade coming through with distinct sirens honking outside.
It is also important to note that Lungi, of course, being a part of Obloko district, is primarily a stronghold of the main opposition, the All People's Congress, APC party. But here today, for the commissioning of these two historic facilities, people outside seem happy. Outside this ECOWAS logistics depot, a group of people with drums, masquerades, dancing, singing, celebrating today's special activities and commissioning events. We can hear the sirens approaching. Any moment from now, we're expecting to have President Bio and the other heads of state and other dignitaries for the commissioning of this ECOWAS logistics depot. It is meant to be a short ceremony here. First will be the president and other dignitaries walking through the red carpet and cutting the ribbon. After that would be the unveiling of the plaque by the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, who doubles as the chairman of the ECOWAS Authority, and that's His Excellency President Dr. Julius Maada. That would be followed by a guided tour of the administrative building. There would be a photography session. After that, another guided tour of Site 2. The presidents have arrived.
And they will be received by the Chief of Defense Staff and the Commandant of the ECOWAS Logistics.
So the visiting presidents have now arrived to do the official opening of this particular facility. Stepping out of the vehicle now is the chairman of ECOWAS. Another president who've joined, Adama Barrow, His Excellency from Gambia.
President of Senegal, Diomaye Faye.
Cut the ribbon together as brothers in the spirit.
The First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Fatima Maada Bio.
Spirit of ECOWAS unity, they are going to cut the ribbon together, Your Excellencies.
Great honor and delight. We now have the pleasure of commissioning this energy to serve as the ECOWAS logistics depot in Longest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They now cut together a round of applause for His Excellency.
They just jointly cut the ribbon.
And his brothers, the
President Julius Maada Bio, President Diomaye Faye, President Adama Barrow, they jointly cut the ribbon with other dignitaries. Now they're proceeding to the unveiling of the plaque. And now the plaque has been unveiled. Written on the plaque, it says ECOWAS Logistics Depot, Lungi, Republic of Sierra Leone. Officially commissioned by H.E. Julius Maada, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We're still trying to figure out what's written on the plaque. There is a lot of people here. The crowd is much, making our vision quite challenging. But we would get to read you what's written on the plaque as soon as we can.
Madam First Lady, the UN Deputy Secretary General, and the Honorable Vice President, and Commissioner.
And now taking a conducted tour of the facility,
To the building for an inspection.
Inspecting the building to get familiarized with the infrastructure.
We advise.
The depot has now been officially commissioned, and of course
For limited people or guests.
there's a huge crowd of people here to witness this particular event today. So of course, as we've been telling you since morning, there are a lot of people who are here to witness the event. We now want to gauge some of the reactions of the guests who are here, just so they too can have a bite of the cherry and tell us exactly what their impressions are about this program today. Fabian, I think it's essential that we gauge the public's views about what's happening now.
Yes, since the commissioning of the Julius Maada International Conference Center, we've not been able to hear from people on their opinion, their thoughts and their impression about the facility itself. But this seems to be our moment now to get to hear from the people who were there present about their opinions, their thoughts and their impression about the Julius Maada International Conference Center, and that of course would be doubled with their impression of the ECOWAS logistics depot so far. And for the logistics depot, they may not have a full impression because much of the team is outside. It's only the president who have been able to make it inside to get the tour. But we do have a lot of dignitaries here present right now at the moment. Right now we have the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Alhaji Musa Timothy Kaba. As you can see there, even government officials do have their moments to have fun. So, all right. Good afternoon. Thank you for sparing time to have a moment with us here on AYV.
Thank you, and thank you, the people of this country and AYV.
Let's talk about the facility itself, the Julius Maada International Conference Center. Today it has now been commissioned. What does this mean for foreign affairs in Sierra Leone?
Look, it's a transmutation. A country that has emerged from the ashes of war. Lunge, historically, during the civil conflict, was a military depot for intervention into Sierra Leone. This was the last fortress on many events of our civil conflict. Today, this place is transformed into a depot for logistics to support peacekeeping and peace building in West Africa. It's a fantastic opportunity, a story of conflict to peace and stability. Thank you.
Okay, we would need to let him go because they seem to be having quite a busy afternoon. But yes, this is what you can see. I think this is a good site for those of you who could not make it to the venue, but you're only seeing what we show you on screen. The camera operator, Fode, is showing you what he can be able to show you at this point from the ECOWAS Logistics Depot. We mentioned earlier that this is meant to be a very short ceremony, and indeed it's rounding off now. We're almost done.
Good afternoon. Now we have of course, Press Secretary, Yusuf Kekto. What does this mean for the people of Sierra Leone?
Oh, it means everything. From moving from a situation where people think we do not have the competence to host heads of states, to hosting heads of state, to commissioning a West African ECOWAS facility in Sierra Leone, which has been constructed, finished, under the leadership of President Bio. And when you were in that hall, Julius Maada Bio International Conference Center, you would have seen that indeed it was not about him as president. It was about a country, it was about people, and it was also about all the work we've done, the journalists, civil society, and everybody, towards making sure that we have a country we can be proud of. So it's a great day for all of us, and we're proud.
What would you say to skeptics who think that you've overspent as a government?
No, I mean, the figures are out, what they spent in 1980, what we're spending now. But for many of us, it's not about how much we spend, it's how much we give to the world. How much we tell the world about Sierra Leone, from a country which used to be war-torn, a country which used to be a country of amputation, to a country where we can host heads of state, we can host loads of journalists across the world, to a country where people can say, indeed, like the delegates, I am proud to come to Sierra Leone, and for my very first time, some people are saying, I'll come back to Sierra Leone. This is what Sierra Leone offers: hospitality, smiles, everything good, and we're proud because it's under the leadership of President Bio.
Lastly, how long did it take you to put all of this together?
Oh, it's been months. It's not overnight. We've been working tirelessly. There has been a team. I've been part of that team, and everybody has played his own part. We are happy that we are delivering on President Bio's vision, because he gave us a simple task, that we to show the world that we are capable of hosting heads of state, we're capable of delivering on the big stage, and I think we've done it.
Thank you so very much indeed. He's Yusuf Keketoma Sandi, and he's a press secretary, the office of the president, who also doubles as chair, of ECOWAS. Such a colorful event here, and as we've told you earlier, the dignitaries are now taking a tour of the facility, a guided tour, so that they get familiarized with the architecture, of the building itself, getting to understand exactly what the facility is about, and what particular promise it holds for ECOWAS as a whole, as a regional bloc. This, of course, climaxes today's proceedings. Of course, it's been quite intense, it's been quite drilling and also thrilling, if you like. And from the Julius Maada Bio International Conference Center now to the ECOWAS Logistic Depot. This, of course, climaxes, today's, program, and ushering in tomorrow's, which will be the deliberations, ECOWAS Summit. I'm told that there are other presidents that are on their way to witness this whole sensitive program. Of course, this is, if you like, the planning, the agenda setting of ECOWAS. It happens each year where they converge, they meet to plan trade and economy across Africa. And this is by no means the smallest. It's, if you like, the biggest, program being organized by ECOWAS. There are a lot of theories right now. There are skeptics who are saying that, monies that are spent here building these magnificent facilities should have been spent elsewhere, to get food, provide jobs for the youths. Others are saying that this is quite commendable. It has also enhanced, and elevated, if you like, the profile of Sierra Leone, and in a way exposed us more meaningfully and strategically placed us in the sub-region.
Yes, the ECOWAS facility. Of course, as you know, we always have affiliations with the African Union, the United Nations as well. And of course, it's for the people, as always says, it is.
people are always very daring. They are smart, they can take risk, but because we are also educating them, they can take calculated risk. And you need a lot of these people to be able to move the economy. So I was speaking on behalf of them, encouraging them not to despair, but also saying that we as government should actually open the access to finance and other things for them to be able to embark on entrepreneurship.
And I want to see, I'm not worried about the negativity because people are going to say what they want to say, but just watch my actions, you know what I mean? See, when I'm talking about Sierra Leone, what am I saying about Sierra Leone?
Show that AYV has grown more than it was the last time. I want to tell you something as AYV and also to our viewers. Any work that you do, if you work very hard and you are dedicated sincerely for the cause of the Almighty, Allah will give you growth.
Guys, my name is DJ Neptune, aka Greatness. Listen up to my people out in Sierra Leone. Today, 5 p.m., I'll be live and direct on The Hype Show with Michelle on AYV Radio, and we're going to be premiering my new single, Gaza.
Yeah, like as I mentioned, my parents, they live here. So basically, for them, I want to see them because I didn't see them for a long time. And obviously to meet them here in Salon is for me, it's even better because in England it's cold.
At the end of the polls today, if we don't have major issues, then we will all thank God. You know, I'm the West African Elders Forum, and one stable West Africa.
Yeah, it's my first time here, so I'm just really excited to be around and just like spread the love and spread the music and birthday. Yeah.
When big names talk, they talk to the AYV.
From dawn to dusk, and from dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days all year round. This dedicated team is here working industriously to bring you
the facts,
the analysis,
The interviews,
the news,
the views from the ordinary people.
We set the agenda. We bring you seamless broadcast.
We cover the happenings.
we give you the angles on the screen.
We cover the events.
We tell the story. We produce the shows.
We commission and ensure the stories are delivered.
We bring you all actions and excitement in sports.
We get our inspiration from you because you have chosen us as the nation's most trusted voice. AYV, the home of all things credible, factual, and of course, all times balanced news.
Where are we?
AYV on Sunday.
Hello and welcome. Please allow us to take you on an everlasting journey of hard-hitting journalism. No spin, no filter, just the truth.
On AYV on Sunday, we ask the questions that many are afraid to ask, and to test the level of sincerity and integrity of the people who have the power to shape our world.
From the bureaucratically minded corridors of power and the seat of the president,
to the deafening voices of the people that actually matter.
what you should know is that ours are not just mere conversations.
They are accountability personified, live, unfiltered, and in your face.
A live audience of 10 persons will also be included in each edition of the program on first come, first included basis.
Hello and welcome. I am Phoebian Sweel.
And I am Victor Jones.
And this is AYV on Sunday.
Just because the day has ended doesn't mean news has stopped. Bringing you stories that matters to you. Preparing you for tomorrow. Whether sports, human interest, entertainment, live breaking news and more. The AYV News,